Are you enjoying the story The Tiger Gets a Fright? It's from class 4, Raindrops 4, section 2. I'm Shomogush here. Hello dear students, today I'm going to cover up the second part of the story The Tiger Gets a Fright. So we have started with a tiger who was very hungry, and he left the forest and came to a village where he had seen a child who was crying. So he thought that as he not got any deer in the forest, so the child would be his prey, so he can eat it, the juicy food. So he went behind the room, behind the house, and he crouched there, means he waited for the prey to come to near to him, and then he would take it as a prey. But he listened that the child was crying, and the grandmother was trying to stop the child's crying. He first tried by telling a tiger's name, but the child did not stop crying. Then she offered a dried persimmon, which was a dried fruit, and then the child stopped crying. But the tiger thought that persimmon should be a very dangerous animal. That's why the child stopped crying. Now the tiger, very frightened inside her heart, and he thought that persimmon would be a very dangerous and ferocious animal which can grab him. So he is very afraid now. Now start the second section. That very moment, a thief broke into the house. His plan was to steal the cow in the yard. It was a dark night. The thief couldn't see clearly. He just saw the shape of the animal and thought it was the cow. So what happened here, students? Here a thief was also came into the house. So he thought that he want to steal something from the house. So his plan to steal the cow. So in that dark night, nothing was visible, no light was there, and that's why the thief was not seeing very clearly. And he saw that an animal was sitting there, and it also has a tail. He firmly grabbed the tail and pulled it hard. He did not realize that it was the tiger's tail. The tiger was already worried about the dried persimmon. Yes, the tiger was totally afraid of the dried persimmon. He thought that persimmon had come and dragging his tail. Now he was sure that this fierce creature had caught hold of his tail. The tiger was so scared that he jumped over the gate and started running towards the forest at full speed, trying to escape the persimmon. Just like that we are seeing here. Is it looking so funny? Yes, it is. The thief too was terrified. He now knew that he was caught hold of a tiger, not a cow. See that the condition means how the tiger is running and the thief is jumping and jumping and thumping and thumping on the road. But he was too scared to let go because tiger was in a speed. If he just loses his hand, he will just scatter off his way and his head can be hammered. He thought the tiger would turn around and eat him. So he thought that if I lose my hand, the tiger would face to him and he would eat him. So he held on in terror. Terror means fear. As the tiger streaked across the countryside. Finally, the thief could hang on no longer, let go of the tiger's tail and fell by wayside. So finally he lost his hand and he fell off the roadside. Still the tiger did not stop running because he was too afraid. He did not look back to see what it was that had held him by the tail. He ran and ran till he was very far from the village. Finally, when he was sure that the fierce persimmon could no longer get him, he stopped. So students, I'm completing here by telling the summary of the story. So I have told already at the beginning of the second section of the summary of the first section. So I just want to tell you about the second section, that the tiger was too afraid and he was just sitting on the same place, and he was thinking about the fierce persimmon. And on that very moment, a thief came who wanted to steal from the house. The thief wanted to steal a cow. And it was a very dark night. No light was there, so not visible. So the thief saw an animal was sitting there, and it also has a tail. We know that cow also has a tail. So he grabbed it and dragged him. Now Tiger was too afraid that he thought that Persimmon was dragging his tail. Now he was too afraid that he started running towards the forest, and he was running and running. And as the thief was holding his tail, he was stomping on the road again and again, again and again. And he didn't think that if he loses the tail, then the tiger would face him and he would eat him. But he couldn't know that tiger was also afraid. But the tiger actually was afraid, and he did not stop his running. At last the thief was fell off at the roadside, and the tiger also didn't stop his running because he was too much afraid. So he stopped at last when he confirmed that there was no persimmon behind him. So students, I think the story was very funny, because it was very funny to me. I really enjoyed from my heart, and I think you also have enjoyed. So write down the hard notes, hard words in your copy, and try to find out the word meanings, and also you can ask your teachers about it. So students, bye bye, and I promise you I will come back with some new and fun story in front of you. Okay students, bye bye.